Hello and welcome back to the Demis Hellen channel. In this video we're going to look at creating a trance lead in Dune 3. I'm going to show you how you can do that very quickly, add some effects, but more importantly I'm going to show you the difference between filters and how we can achieve a more classic sound in that particular synth. And I think it's a different beast underneath. It has a lot of power under there that just gives you the ability to create any sound that you really want to very quickly, because it's got a very nice engine behind it. You can get all my presets over at demishellen.com. You can support me on Patreon and get early access to this video, so they get it before it goes live on YouTube, and they also get an access to the resources, which is the preset in this video, so you can get hold of that over there, as well as seeing the video early, and loads of other little bits as well over there. Okie dokie, so we have our Dune 3 here, and I'm going to show you how to make a very quick Supersaw using the Unison voice engine, not the oscillators. So we're using the oscillator, but just one. And then we're going to have a look at those filters. So I'm going to kind of keep it nice and sweet and short, but if you want to experiment, it just gives you the option to investigate a little bit further. So we're going to build this sound, we're going to add the effects on, and then let's look at the filters. Sorted. Now we're going to jump over here. Just listen to the difference when I bring the amount up. I'm going to times these voices by 8. So if it was just one voice, then it would be 16 voices that I'm going to increase here, but we're going to go to 32 because we've got 2 on here. So you can see here 32 voices. So we've got an instant Supersaw just from using 2 voices on oscillator 1 and timesing them by 8. So if you want to know a little bit more about Dune 3, I have done a full series of deep dives on the Synapse audio YouTube channel. So you can go and check that out there if you want to see more in depth about how this works. So with that, we've got all that set up. I'm just going to set up the envelopes here. Okay, and let's put the effects on. So I'm going to start with a bit of EQ. I'm just going to drop out the lows a little bit. So I'm just giving it a bit of power in the mid-range and some crispiness on the highs. Tune it how you want. We're going to add a little bit of phaser on there just to give it a bit of movement. I'm going to use the super phase. Just a little bit of dry wet just to give it a bit of movement in the background. A bit of delay. And I'm going to use the rhythmic. And just to sort of give it a bit of different flavour, I'm going to set these to quarter notes and a quarter dotted on the right. Just going to turn that. Just turn that feedback down because the mode of rhythmic gives you a little bit more to play with in terms of feedback. And then reverb. And if you want to get a little bit more of a crispiness out of it, use the compressor on air mode, and that'll give you some nice air on the top of it. But to save time, that's all we're going to do here. So you can see we've got a nice sort of patch already set up, and we don't have to do really too much to it. But I'm going to show you the difference between the filters. So let's take a look at what's happening. So I've turned it down. I'm now going to bring up the filter envelope control. So in the preset design that I did, I'm building a pack for Dune 3 Trance Essentials. I wanted a bit more of a stabby, plucky sound, that sort of classic trance sort of vibe to it, very similar to like what you get on the JP8000. And the options are we could obviously change the decay on the filter envelope, on the amp envelope to get that snappier sound. But then it gets to a point when you are shutting the filter down, it just sounds like a series of blips rather than notes. You don't actually hear the tone of the note. So let's have a listen to the difference between a 12 dB and a 24 dB. So I'm starting to get that plucky, trancey feel to it. That's what I'm looking for. But it's not quite there. Let's go down to the low pass 24. So that gives it a little bit more low end, a little bit more saturation in the sound. If you're struggling to hear that, just have a mess around on yours and you'll hear the difference when you're switching them back and forth. Gives it a bit more of a squelchy tone. But what I used to get that sort of really classic sort of pluck when the filter is closed is using the acid low pass. Now that's the sound I'm looking for, that really sharp sort of transient right at the beginning. And that's what I was looking for from this synth. That's what you get from it. So I'm just going to up these to 16. I could see the voices were capping out there. That's better. And it just gives you that better tonality. If we change that back to the low pass 24 here, listen to how much more the filter is already open. It's letting a lot more sound through, and it's just the nature of the filter. So you can hear we've achieved what we would have achieved using the decay. So it pays off to look through the filters and understand what the filters are doing to your sound. So when it comes to sound design or tweaking, you can just jump in and get that done. So the last thing, let's just map that mod wheel, right click and choose mod wheel. So the reason that's opened, if you look on the keyboard, I've got the mod wheel already open. So the trick is open it, then adjust your modulation amount to get it where you want it to be, and then you'll have the perfect mod wheel support. So there we are. That's how to make a nice, simple patch in Dune 3, but it's got a lot of complexity to it as well. But I really wanted to show you that acid low pass because that's what works really well, in my opinion. It gives you that classic sound, and that negates having to use the decays, remember, on the filter envelopes. Let's leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. Again, Patreon supporters get early access to all the videos, all the packs that are not available anywhere else for Vital, Serum, Spire, etc. And you also get resources, and the preset in this video is included in that. So thank you very much for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.